So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special video today, and I wanted to talk about a certain process of ascension that is coming. It's actually in works already, and as you know, I've made enough videos on ascension since 2012 because that's where the solar system went above the galactic plane, where the vibration slowly starts rising. Because you got to understand, it takes time for any kind of a vibration to hit any particular space and time in a galaxy or in a universe even. So it's not like your solar system reaches at a certain point and suddenly it just starts receiving everything. No, it just comes little by little, 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%. It increases. And it increases certain consciousness level in people's psyche. It raises certain type of vibration, in people's consciousness. So what's happening now, especially because of the fact in the sky, Jupiter is going to be coming into the sign of Sagittarius, okay, which is its own Mool Trikon sign, its rooted sign. It's the sign of its root placement. And it's going to be joining the south node of the moon, Ketu. Okay. And this actually originally causes a Brahmacharya yoga. Brahmacharya yoga usually occurs with Jupiter Ketu conjunction or Ketu Saturn conjunction, especially when they're even conjunct Venus, because one has a strong sense of devotion towards a higher self, wanting to know about the higher self. So one thing you will notice, and this is something, it's not really negative if you understand the true depth of it. Like many people around the world will find huge amount of depression in their life. They will. But how is the depression coming in? That's the fun part. The closer you get to technology, the more involvement you have with technology, the more you give your freedom away to technology, the more depressed you're going to get. The more depressed you're going to get. And this is especially going to be more meaningful. You will see how it hits right in January when Jupiter transits Sagittarius, while it's going to be with Ketu for quite a long time, pretty much throughout the year of 2020. This is going to start another level of the consciousness to experience certain detachment, experience certain oblivion of unhappiness with technology, where which either people can commit suicides because of this depression, or people can literally find their spiritual path from this. Because only through depression you are able to kind of like, once you realize you've hit rock bottom, well, there's nowhere else to go but up. And this is something you have to understand, that you need to connect with your divinity. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Jain, Christian, Catholic, whatever. I mean, you believe in some indigenous tribe. That is your divinity. Okay? Because all these wires will lead to one main router, one main source. And it's extremely important once Ketu and Jupiter hit together in a conjunction, that the more you try to connect with your divinity, instead of through electricity, you're going to see a major change. And those people who will actually excel in this time period of Jupiter Ketu conjunction are the people who are actually focusing and working on connecting inside themselves than outside of themselves. Because here's the thing, and this is something that I've been actually studying for a while. is that, and this is something that I'm trying to finish my mini documentary on. As you know, Saravan, the connection to land. But the thing is, I have to travel, I have to have funds. So, once those are there, then I will complete that for sure. But I was like just watching these documentaries, how people in Asia and China, you know, don't even deal with cash anymore. They all deal with these cell phone and these code on cell phone to pay for everything. Do you know how dangerous that is? That if somebody was to hack into a system of China where they completely wipe out all these, the coupons that everybody uses as part of their ability to purchase everything from a homeless person to a hotel, all they do is scan their little phone. They have pretty much given up every single right then. And that's what's going to start depressing them, because they will see how this Jupiter Ketu conjunction affects that part. For example, if government wanted to, let's say, you've got some issue with the government, all they have to do is just press a button, and everything that you can get your hands on to feed yourself, to wear, to travel, suddenly is now gone, wiped out. And people don't even accept cash anymore in Asia. Everything is reliant on technology. People live in closet-like spaces just so they can be on the internet 24/7. Men, women in Japan, they're so separated, it is scary. See, when you're in your own particular country, you're dealing with the politics of that country, the issues of that country, and you're just like in this bubble of your own country. But when you see time to time what is happening in another country, like, oh my God, this is scary. They're so much reliant on technology, and it's spreading. It's spreading from here, from Asia to India to Europe to US. If you don't get away from technology and balance it out, see, it needs to be a balanced thing. It's not like electricity and technology is bad. Believe me, electronic and technology has changed my life. But here's the thing: this balance is shifting. When a balance is shifted, whenever you see extreme balance shift, that's the Bhadrapada energy, which is a nakshatra in the sky. It's not the zodiac sign; it's a constellation. So if you're new to my channel, you're probably like, "What is he talking about?" Well, it's known as a nakshatra. It's a constellation, that tells you more detail about who you are. So there's 27 constellations. And obviously, if you don't know, how your planets are placed in a different constellation known as nakshatras and all your astrological details, just check out the links here. And under shop section, you will see the report option, which is option 5 or 6. So you can understand yourself better. So Bhadrapada energy is about extreme, especially Purva Bhadrapada energy. So anytime when you see an unbalance in a scale, unbalanced in life, that's the activation of Bhadrapada energy. And this is why Bhadrapada is a very wild nakshatra. It's a very chaotic nakshatra, very unpredictable nakshatra. So when something is not balanced, now you can no longer judge what is the future. You can no longer judge what is to be from this conclusion. How am I going to be doing things tomorrow? When things are unbalanced, you're making wrong predictions about future. You're making wrong assessment about what is to be. So because this economic things is becoming completely unbalanced, from personal interaction, hand-to-hand interaction, to electronics, electricity, it is going to create such chaos that young people, especially teenagers, like children of my or kids of my age, I'm sorry, my kids' age, children of my kids' age and beyond, they're gonna be in a massive, massive chaos. They're gonna be like, is this what life is? Like completely dependent upon technology all the way through. And this is why it becomes important to go to a place like a national park. Being in a place or having a home where you're kind of like separated and being more in nature. And also, that's another thing that I notice, how many people now are trying to go off the grid, trying to go out in the mountains, trying to go out away from that hustle bustle of downtown life. It makes them go crazy. It makes them go crazy. And I understand that, why it makes them go crazy. Because it is supposed to make you crazy. Because you're around nothing but hustle for money, hustle for food, hustle for clothing. Everything is a hustle when you live in a downtown area. People need to start understanding, hey, maybe I need to just live a little bit far away from where I am, so I can be in a place of natural environment and not be surveillanced 24/7, not be watched what I'm doing on my phone 24/7, not be watched on the internet on my desktop what I'm doing in 24/7. It is really so, and right now you may not see it, but once Ketu hits Jupiter, which is going to be in 2020, literally as soon as Jupiter enters the sign of Sagittarius on, November of this year, not even next year, November of this year, Jupiter is going to go into Sagittarius, and Saturn is there already. Ketu is there. So obviously for the first 4 or 5 months, it's going to be like a sudden hit where a person's going to just reject everything around them, and they won't understand why they're rejecting it. They won't understand why they're depressed, why they're disconnected from everything in their life, and why that depression, that feeling of solitude is coming in. Because again, energies are going to try to balance themselves. If there's no balance, it's going to get more and more chaotic. So your own personal energy is always going to try to balance things out. So either you get on this boat right now and actually become more happy when Ketu comes with Jupiter. Because for those people who are not stuck into that material world, who are not stuck into everything related to just, I want this, I need this, I have to have it, they're going to feel this like complete freedom in life. Like they're going to feel like this is amazing. But for those of you who are constantly 24/7 on this thing, constantly using electronics to buy your resources, to deal with your resources, I got a news for you. You better get ready. You need to get ready. But of course, the problem is the only one who are going to be watching this video are the people who have some kind of sense, some kind of a sixth sense as to, I want to dive into this world of occult and mysticism. So that's another thing. And that's another thing, yes. That's why there's no free will. Because you are meant to watch this video. You are meant to take some action from this video. Why? Because everything is pre-programmed. I'm sorry, there's no free will. So those people who are out there will never watch my video, will never listen to any of these things. They are supposed to suffer that. They are supposed to go through that process because they're probably just in the middle of the evolution of their soul, or very early in the evolution of their soul. So they have to take like 1,000 births before they understand this. But for us, some of us who just realize we've had enough of this in the past 400 or 500 lives we have lived, it's time to change. It's time to just break away from this. And that's why I haven't made any videos on Ascension in the past year and a half, because this was the moment that I was waiting for. Although I should have even made this in October or November, but I'm like, it's about to come, so I might as well just let people know. And this is why it's important. It's not like Ascension is just happening by itself. It's not like just energy is hitting. The energy is hitting through the planets. It's magnifying itself through the transits of planets around the Earth. Because if anything hits a planet, it's going to be impacted. And it's going to be then somehow manipulated. And while it's coming to Earth, to the human beings of Earth. So, again, the best way is to start meditating. Give time to yourself. Don't give time. See, this thing controls you right now. This thing controls you right now. Without this, you're nothing. Okay? But once you put this aside, okay, And once you go into the electricity, the engineering inside, that is when you're going to see, oh, that's why I was depressed. Okay. You'll realize why that depression is there. But for those of you who have never meditated before, yes, it can be a hard thing. Before I used to be like, oh my God, I have to sit here for 10 minutes. I have to sit in this position for 10 minutes and just breathe or do this. There's no way I can do that. Now I think after maybe 45 minutes, I'm thinking, oh my God, do I have to sit for more? So as I get older, it went from 10 minutes to 25 to 35 to 45 now. Maybe in 5 years or 6 years, it could be 2 hours every day just sitting there. You know? So it's very important to start connecting with nature. And the most important thing is to understand, even if you would like understand yourself, you know, especially how Jupiter and Ketu are, where they're transiting in your birth chart. So if they're transiting the first house, sixth house, eighth house, 10th house, those will be the sources that you need to connect to through a spiritual mean. So as I'm saying, that get away from technology. But how is technology is going to make you depressed if you're dependent upon it too much is you have to see where Jupiter and Ketu are going to transit from your ascendant and from your moon. So make moon the ascendant in your birth chart, which obviously is done automatically on the second page when you get the report on the website, so you can see where Jupiter and Ketu are transiting for new people. But all of you who know already, you can just see where Jupiter and Ketu are and how, through which medium of electricity, electronics, and this new age technology that is going to impact you. Let's say if it's in the third house, Jupiter and Ketu are transiting the third house with Saturn. You're so much on social media that somehow you make some mishap, put some stupid post, put some stupid political post that suddenly gets, viral, and now you're in the middle of the scrutiny, you get fired from your job, everybody's pointing fingers at you, and suddenly the depression comes in. You're so much into technology with Jupiter Ketu in the 7th house, so much dependent upon everything on technology that it starts ruining your relationships. So start looking at it from that perspective. Okay? So anyway, guys, this was my little information on the Ascension process that is going to be starting literally from November of this year, not even the next year. But, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss some of these type of videos or my astrological videos. And if you want to know where your Jupiter Saturn are transiting, what sign they're, or which house they're transiting, all the other astrological details, check out the links here. Otherwise, I'll see you today later on with our regular series video.